This is Pulse of Africa, the face and voice of Africa. The story of resurgent and burgeoning Africa is here, only on the Pulse of Africa channel. Pulse of Africa, the face and voice of Africa.
A very warm welcome to Pulse of Africa News. I am Samir Mohammed and I'm thrilled you're here with us. Let's start with Zambia. Zambia is set to relaunch the internship, volunteer, apprenticeship and graduate program aimed at equipping young people with practical skills required for the job market. Minister of Youth, Sport and Art, Principal Public Relations Officer Nichunyan Gandu says the program, which was first launched in 2022, is being restructured following challenges experienced in previous phases, particularly in the payment of stipends to participating youths. Gandu has noted that the government has drawn lessons from countries such as Nigeria, where the private sector has played a key role in successfully implementing similar initiatives. We are continuing to engage the private sector so that as they come on board, we see how best we can work together, he said. He explained that the program is designed to provide young people with at least 1 year of work experience across government institutions, private companies and non-governmental organizations, which greatly enhances their employability. Mr. Ngadu added that some beneficiaries from previous phases were absorbed into employment after demonstrating exceptional performance during their placement period. He acknowledged that although the program had been well-intended, challenges arose when some cooperating partners withdrew before fulfilling their obligations, leaving the government to source resources to pay outstanding stipends. In Algeria, the Ministry of Posts and Telecommunications announced the entry into force of new specifications governing express, mail, parcel transport and delivery services more broadly. According to information reported by the Algerian Press Service, the decision forms part of ongoing efforts to modernize the segment that has become central to the functioning of e-commerce. In detail, the regulatory framework aims to strengthen the protection of customer rights and support e-commerce and the national digital economy. The Minister of Posts and Telecommunications and the Postal and Electronic Communication Regulatory Authority joint developed the text with ARPCE overseeing its legal and regulatory structure. The specifications conclude a consultation process that began with the first meeting with the express delivery operators in September 2025, held under the leadership of Minister Sid Ali Zerouki and attended by sector representatives and the president of ARPCE. According to the official statement, the regulation relies on an approach that combines investment incentives with consumer protection. The framework introduces several operational requirements, including improved service quality, compliance with delivery deadlines, protection of personal data, structured handling of customer complaints, broader adoption of electronic payment methods, and the use of clear commercial identities and uniforms by delivery agents. The introduction of the specifications come as Algeria's e-commerce market continues to expand.
In Ethiopia, more homes and businesses now have access to electricity. Access to power supports education, healthcare, and local businesses. Light changes lives.
The government of Ghana has announced plans to establish teachers' housing scheme with $46.37 million allocated to revolving housing fund this year and a further $92.75 million projected for next year in collaboration with the Ghana National Association of Teachers. President John Dramani Mahama made the announcement at the 54th GNAT Delegates Conference at the University of Profession Studies, Accra. He said the scheme is intended to enable teachers to channel rental payments toward home ownership, with the land to be made available in districts to support the project. project. Addressing the conference, the president said the housing initiative would be developed in partnership with GNAT and Republic Bank. He noted that $46.37 million allocation has been captured in the 2026 budget to support the establishment of the fund. According to the President Muhammad, the fund will operate as a revolving facility with financial contribution from GNAT, Republic Bank, and participating teachers. Under the arrangement, teachers would apply for housing, which should be constructed in locations of their choice, subject to availability. He said the objective is to allow teachers, particularly those posted to areas where housing is built, to redirect rent payments toward the cost of owning their homes over time. President Muhammad added that the government will finalize the operational framework for the housing fund within the year and scale it up next year to accommodate more teachers. He also said discussions are ongoing to secure land from district assemblies across the country to support the implementation of the scheme. Malawi leader Arthur Peter Mutharika has withheld consent to the recently passed Constitution Amendment Bill of 2025, citing the need to safeguard financial integrity in the management of public resources. This decision is intended to ensure that development projects at constituency level continue without compromising accountability, particularly in the administration of the Constituency Development Fund, which he believes requires stronger oversight. The President has directed the Ministers of Justice and Constitutional Affairs and the Finance and Economic Planning to draft clear guidelines to strengthen management and oversight of the CDF, highlighting his commitment to transparency and accountability in the use of public funds. The CDF is a critical component of Malawi's development strategy aimed at supporting local projects and initiatives, and the President's decision underscores the importance of careful consideration and scrutiny of legislative changes affecting public resource management. By withholding consent, President Mutharika is prioritizing financial integrity and oversight, demonstrating his commitment to responsible governance and prudent management of public resources. The bill aimed to give members of parliament direct control over the CDF, raising concerns about potential misuse of funds and corruption. The decision might also reinforce decentralization efforts, ensuring local governments manage development funds effectively. Shifting to business news. Kenya's economy grew by 4.9% in the third quarter of 2025, up from 4.2% in the same period of 2024, the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics said on Tuesday. According to the KNBS, the growth was supported by improved performance across several key sectors, including agriculture, manufacturing, and transport. The agriculture, forestry, and fishing sector expanded by 3.2% during the quarter. The growth was supported by an increase in milk production and exports of cut flowers, the report said. The manufacturing sector grew by 2.5% in the third quarter of 2025, compared with 2.3% in the corresponding quarter of 2024. However, the KNBS said that performance within the sector was mixed, with growth largely driven by the non-food subsector, while the food subsector recorded a decline. Meanwhile, transportation and storage sector expanded by 5.2% in the third quarter of 2025, up from 4.6% a year earlier. The KNBS said the growth was largely supported by increased activities in water, road, and air transport. The government of Chad is investing €175.1 million in developing a national data center and expanding its fiber optic networks. In a post to Facebook, the ministry announced the commencement of the project on December 20. The investment represents phase 1 of the state connectivity infrastructure modernization project, seeking to improve digital infrastructure in the country. The first phase will see the establishment of national data center, the deployment of 1,200 kilometers of fiber optic cabling, and the expansion of wireless networks, including GSM, 3G and 4G sites across the country. An inauguration ceremony was held in Sar Moyen-Shari. During the ceremony, Minister of Telecommunications, Digital Economy and Digitalization, Bokar Michel, noted that digital must not stop at capitals. It must irrigate territories, connect regions, and unite the nation. He later added the sovereignty of modern state is also measured by its ability to master its legal infrastructure. Michael added that under the current leadership of Chad, fiber optic networks have become a national security issue as well as a tool of modern governance and lever for territorial justice. Details on the data center, such as its size and location, have not been shared. Finally, sport news. Nigeria's Super Eagles will depart first for Marrakech later today, January 8, to prepare for their Africa Cup of Nations 2025 quarter-final clash. Team media officer Promise Efoge announced the move on Tuesday, noting the squad played all group stage and round of 16 matches. In first, Nigeria advanced emphatically with 4-0 thrashing of Mozambique on Monday, featuring braces from Victor Osimhen and goals from Ademola Lookman and Akor Adams. The Super Eagles will face Algeria in quarter-final on Saturday, January 10 at Grand Stade de Marrakech. After the Desert Foxes edged DR Congo 1-0 in extra time, a recovery session was held Tuesday at Sardine Complex with 26 players in full training Wednesday. Injured defender Ryan Albiso continues separate rehabilitation. Ifogi clarified striker Akor Adams briefly left camp to visit his hospitalized mother in Fez, returning quickly and remaining committed later, dedicating his goal to her. With strong momentum, Nigeria aimed for fourth AFCON title in Morocco. That's all for this hour. Thank you for tuning in and goodbye.